Okay, so I am headed downtown right now to interview one of my very, very, very good best friends, Mike Xavier. I have known him probably the entire time that I have lived in Vegas, almost. I'm not going to give away the whole story because I want to talk about that. But he is such a light. He's probably one of the people at the beginning when I moved here that I really felt God's light in. He is just an amazing dude. His music is awesome. He's really a light. So, yep, going downtown. He has 2 spaces downtown that they rent out and they do stuff out of. So we're going to meet at one of them and sit down. And I've actually been wanting to do an interview like this with Mike for a very long time. And as soon as I started this whole gray area, I definitely thought of Mike immediately. And I think what we are going to talk about today is going to be, I imagine, really, really some valuable information and something that I feel like can really probably help a lot of people. Pretty excited about this one. Arts district where I used to reside. They just built this huge hotel, the English Hotel. That's cool. So my old studio and apartment is down this street right here, next to the Hoover building, I think. And over here is where they do First Friday. We're in Square. ATV sign right there. Locks of the Arts. Definitely a cool vibe down here. All right, there he is. You ready for this today?
Yes, sir. Let's do it. Let me welcome you to our space over here.
So this is one of 2 spaces that Mike has.
The other one's right there. Show them.
Yep. The other one is at Art Square.
Right there.
Yep.
In that building.
All right, so real quick, we're gonna check out Mike's other space right now. So this is the mini event space. This is Suite what?
Suite 1.
What's the Halo theme song?
It's for small stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Networking part.
Yeah, I wonder, dude. I'm like, what can I throw here? I'll figure out something to throw.
Well, it's a key size for it because it's not too big, you know?
Yeah.
It's not too small either. It's space.
You get your hors d'oeuvres, set them up. This is cool, man. I think this spot is like really, really dope. Like,
Prime First Friday.
super prime. Dude, you're literally... Yeah, it's so cool. You're like right under the Art Square sign. All right, guys. Yeah, if anyone wants to do a mini event, hit up your boy. That's all. You just brought the chair back. That's it?
Yeah. Trying to do a micro performance center.
Maybe, yeah. Keep it micro, keep it tight, yo. Oh, dude, real quick, Mike just showed me. Show me the Sports Center thing. Yo, one of Mike's songs was used in a Sports Center commercial for Giannis. Okay, yeah, let me see this.
My name is Jansen Lukumbu. Doesn't matter where you start at. I want to be an NBA player. It only matters where your heart's at. I'm going to do whatever it takes to help my team win, and I'm going to win the MVP. Make the impossible doable. I just want you to know you should be far from the usual. If you want you to get it, chase your dreams like you really can't lose. All you got to do is get it. My goal is to win a championship, and we're going to do whatever it takes to make that happen. So follow your dream.
You know what?
So cool, dude. Proud of you. Yeah, super dope. So, been wanting to do this interview for a minute with my boy. And yeah, so we're gonna check out his space really quick and then we're gonna get started. Go. Nice, man.
Spots, studio.
This is so cool. Got a little office in here. Yeah, we actually shot a cool music video, that acoustic video for, yeah, for Midas. All right, this room I think we're gonna do the interview in. This is cool. Just a cool spot. But
A little dressing room.
yep. All right. All right, let's get to it.
It's all good. You got something.
All right, we are back. This is now the second episode of The Gray Area. This man sitting next to me, as soon as I had this idea of doing conversations with people, he's honestly one of the first persons that came into my head. It's my man, Xavier. Thank you for coming, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. We've known each other for, I don't even know, how long now, man?
5 years? Is it 5 years? When did we meet?
Dude,
2015?
I've been saying I've been in Vegas for like 6 years now. But
we met in 2016.
I got here in 2015. So, yeah, I was about here
got
for
here
a
in 2015.
year before.
Did we
that.
meet 2016 or 17? That's
I
what
think
I'm
it's
wondering.
16.
Was it 16?
So what is that? 6 years now?
5 years if it's 16. Wow, this is 2021. Crazy. Yeah, I got here in
Jinx.
2015 too, yeah.
Okay,
Wild, man.
So yeah, so first off, I guess tell the people what you do, and then secondly, where you're from, how you came to Vegas, and then how we first met.
I do a little bit of everything actually. From
Yeah.
music, entrepreneur, you know, father, future husband, family man, you know. I do a lot, you know, now I think about it. But I'm originally from LA and I came to Vegas late 2015. I think it was September 2015, then I ended up getting like a place, like I moved into Vegas,
Right.
October 2nd, I believe, 2015. And then just came out here to rebuild, and yeah, man, that was the worst time of my life actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that was like the rock bottom, like the lowest point I've ever been. And I think it's because of the fact that at the time, without having a place to stay, like being homeless with Gentle Tie, like that was a whole thing.
You were just living in your car.
But it was just Gentle Tie, yeah. I was going back and forth between like staying in my car, staying with my mom and my sisters,
Right.
but just not having my own space.
Right.
It's crazy. Not my first go around with that though.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but with having a son, it was different, man.
Yeah.
It was tough, man. But yeah, it was all for the best in the end. You know, we had learned a lot of lessons and stuff like that. But yeah, so I came to Vegas and
Why did you came to Vegas originally?
because my sister was out here.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
she was like, well, for one, in LA, when you're renting, they look at it like it's like almost the same thing as purchasing a house. It's crazy. They want bank statements. They want obviously the credit and like letters from your job and all these other things. And so it's almost like really the same requirements as buying a house.
Yeah.
You know, that's probably some exaggeration there, but it feels like that. You know, and at the time, because of how everything worked out, my credit was like messed up, and so like they wanted like $4,000 or $5,000 to get into a place, which I didn't have.
Yeah.
Which was part of the problem, so that's why I couldn't get into a place. So anyways, my sister was like, yeah, it's easy to get out here, and she went and talked to like the leasing agent at her office or complex.
Right.
He was like, yeah, give us like $800 and you're in. You know what I'm saying? It was like, it was like nothing, you know what I'm saying?
5,000 to 800.
Yeah, 5,800. So Vegas was easy to get into.
Right.
And That's why I did it, man. And man, I'll tell you what, it felt good to get into a place. I was still so broke at the time that I didn't have money to get any furniture or anything. It's a long story, so we won't go into it. But it's like I didn't have any furniture for a year. But the fact that I got into the place and I was sleeping on the floor for the first year, but it felt great to just have a roof over our head, man. Like it was our place, at least.
Yes.
So I started over, man. So mentally, I feel it's hard for people sometimes because for me, I've had to build my life back up a couple times. And so I'm kind of like, I know what I got to do.
Yeah.
And I just know it's going to get better. But I feel for people sometimes because they have trouble seeing that hope for the future.
Right.
And it's hard, man. When you're at rock bottom, to think like you're going to get back to like living a good life, it's hard to see. So
yeah, we were talking yesterday about the season. What did you say? I love this. This was one of my
about the
me and Mike talk all the time, and he always has some gems, and I feel like we say some of the similar things in different conversations, but this was a really cool one that
yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because that was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
So it's basically it's like we'll watch a TV show, right, or a movie,
right,
and
TV. It was a TV show.
We'll watch a TV
season,
show.
Yeah.
So we'll watch a TV show. And if it starts off slow, you'll tell the person that recommended it to you, like, yeah, I don't know, man, it's not going good. It's lame, or it's not good, or whatever. And so you'll wanna opt out of watching the show, whatever season it is. And if somebody tells you, just keep watching it, man, it gets better. A lot of times we'll be like, all right, man, and you'll watch it get through that stuff that you weren't feeling in the beginning.
Right.
And then you get to the end and you start getting into it. Everything starts getting great, and then you're recommending the show to other people. You know, you're a supporter. Like, man, you gotta watch this season or whatever. But if you applied that same behavior to your life goals, it could be incredible for you. Because if you are starting a business, you're starting a hobby, you're starting a music career, you're starting whatever you're doing, and in the beginning it's not so great. But if you could just be like, man, you know what? It's gonna get better. Just like that season got better.
Yeah.
Just imagine what you could accomplish, man, if you weren't so focused on the immediate results, but the end goal. That's a good one, man.
It is. Just keep watching, keep going. It gets
going.
better.
Yeah, it gets better, man.
But even just that mindset of affirmation, of affirming that, you know, I truly believe that, you know, just like, you know, we were talking about yesterday about, you know, you put something out and you've already seen it materialize by just even saying it's going to get better. You're affirming that. It's like a contract with yourself, and you're affirming that, you know, it is going to get better.
Right.
You know, so it's not only this hopeful thing, but I think it's actually a physical energy, intention thing that actually does make it get better. And then when you just let go of the time or the how, which we talked a lot about too, is, you know, it really does. So, so how, when you came to Vegas, I guess what were you doing at first? And then kind of just tell the story about how we first met. Yeah.
So I was into the music when I first got out here, but I didn't go anywhere. I was just doing music at home.
Right.
And then eventually when I started getting out, then that's when you and I met at 6 and Franklin during the jam session, right? Which is cool. And that was the first time we like actually did like the jam, and you were singing and I was like rapping.
Yeah.
And then after that,
let's talk a little bit about 6 and Franklin, just so people know what that is.
Right. So 6 and Franklin was a place for like the creators to come together. I feel like whether you're doing like music or I don't know, it was just like a cool vibe. It was like, it's almost something that I feel like back in the day you'd see on an MTV show. Yeah,
I feel like, you know, after being there for a while. So I used to live and work at this place called 6 and Franklin, run by this guy named Joey Vanis. He's the founder of First Friday. No, he's not a founder of First Friday, but he's one of the founders of Life is Beautiful. He ran First Friday for a long time, and you know, even to talk about Tony Shea, definitely R.I.P. We went to his celebration the other night. But Joey was friends with Tony, and I think Joey was actually one of the first people that kind of started bringing Tony to Vegas and showing him around and stuff like that. But yeah, so Joey was the founder of Life's Beautiful. Then he took over actually from Tony, he took over. Tony asked Joey, like, they were. I think First Friday was about to like be dismantled, and Joey like stepped up and took it over, and yeah. So and then Joey has this house downtown. 6 and Franklin actually was Stupak's old house, the guy who actually built the Stratosphere.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. So it's this
that.
cool downtown, I guess, kind of mansion. It's like a bigger layout.
Yeah, that's big.
It's like on 6th Street, which is, it's a very historical street. I feel like that's where like all the old mobsters or casino guys used to live because it was downtown. It's like the strip was downtown. So yeah, he turned this house into a really cool place. When I first met Joey, a friend from Sacramento was there. I don't know if you remember James Cavern. It goes by Jamesy now. But that's where I met Rasar. Another one, rest in peace, man. Like super crazy. But
I don't know, not to cut you off, but I was just thinking like, because you mentioned Tony and Rasar.
Yeah.
Man, I wonder, like, it's crazy. You know what? Tony was super cool, and he was always cool with me when I seen him. And the crazy thing is, one time we were at Bunkhouse.
Yeah.
And Tony was like introducing me to some people. Mind you, sometimes I'm like, people don't even know who I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Tony was like, hey, Mike, what's up, whatever. And then he was telling the people about me, and he was like, if Zappos was an artist, it would be Mike Xavier. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Yeah.
I can see it, man. Well, what was this delivering happiness, man?
He was, man. And he was like, if Zappos was an artist, a music artist, it would be Mike Xavier. And I was like, man, that's cool. And I even emailed him the next day like, man, Tony, thanks for saying that. I appreciate that. And it was surprising because Tony was so cool whenever I seen him.
Right.
But it always threw me off whenever he would like reach out or say stuff like that, because I'm like, man, that's cool. But when my song played at T-Mobile Arena, Tony took pictures and emailed them to me.
Dude.
Yeah. And he was
awesome,
like, he's like, hey, Mike, boom, caught you on the what do you call that? Like the big
the Jumbotron.
The Jumbotron.
Yeah.
But it was just surprising that Tony was like, yo, Mike, caught you on the Jumbotron. I was like, that's crazy, man.
So
and
cool.
Yeah, man. But 6 and Franklin was like a cool spot, and I think it connected a lot of people.
Yeah, that's what I was going to go to is after being there, living there, I think the best thing that it was a connector. So yeah, just to finish the little story about me, James brought me there. It was like James and I think Rasar, someone else was there.
Oh, you said James Cavern?
Yeah, James Cavern, because he's
the
from
one
Sacramento.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
so I knew him from Sacramento, so he was there,
and
he's like, bro, you got to come to this house, and finally I went there. I was like, this is dope. And I saw Joey and this other artist in this room with like this little studio, was really nothing in there yet. And my my mind was going like this is like a cool opportunity. And all I thought was like, dude, I got to get to know this guy, and I got to just like be whatever's happening in here.
Right.
I want to be here.
Right.
That was like me and Joey like super connected on something. And so basically Joey was doing a couple projects, and he was looking for someone to be like the music guy of the house, and help with all these music things. And eventually, he hired me to live and work there. I was the music guy for the jams and then some other projects that we did. And that's, I think the biggest thing, it was just a great connector. I was injected into the downtown music scene, and so many people I know now, are from that experience. And we'll fast forward now to one of the jams. Go.
Wait, well, I just want to do something that's kind of like off the...
Yeah, sure.
I don't know if we can do it, but...
You can do whatever you want, man. Come on.
Let's just see. I just want to see if Joey will answer the phone. And so we can tell him, hey, man, we're just sending you some love, and they can hear Joey real quick. I don't know if he'll pick up, but we're just going to try it for the sake of this interview since we're talking about Joey. And let's just see if we'll answer. He may or may not. We'll keep it short if he does, but...
Joey, life is beautiful.
Yeah. It's been like that forever, too. But you know why? Because that's how I... Joey.
Yes.
Joey, my man. Hey, listen. Listen, real quick. I'm sitting here with Zack, and we're filming a YouTube video, like kind of podcast interview, and we just wanted to call and send you some love, man, because Six and Franklin brought a lot of people together, and we just want to give you your flowers, man, and give you some positivity this morning and say thank you for all that you've done, man.
Yes. Thank you, Joey.
Oh my God, I fucking love you guys, man. You have no idea how on point. You have no idea how on point and how on time this one's.
That's awesome, man, and we'll keep this in the interview.
Couldn't be a better time.
Oh, man. Well, you deserve it, man. We just want to say thanks, man, and we hope you're doing well, and that's super cool you answered the phone because we got this.
Yeah, we're filming this right now.
Yeah. We're filming, but I was like, man, let's call Joey and send him some love real quick.
That's amazing, you guys. And you know what's also amazing? I literally I've been traveling a bunch lately, and I was just in the last week and a half jamming out to both of your shit and just listening to what's out there, what you're putting out, your music, and just reflecting on how amazing and talented you guys are and how stoked I am that I get to be able to enjoy your art and your gifts. You know, just know that I'm in Panama at the moment. I was in Colombia when I was listening and showing other people the music and jamming out in the car. So I'm still pumping you guys no matter what country or time zone or whatever.
Wow, man. That's a beautiful thing. Let me, before we let you go real quick, one, we appreciate that and we appreciate you. Whenever you get back in town, whatever, at some point, let's get together for lunch. But
yes,
we'd love to just have you throw your 2 cents, just one life experience advice that you would give to the people that are going to watch this video. Anything you got?
Just follow your passion at all costs. No matter what, no matter how hard it is, no matter how many days you think you can't get out of bed and do it one more day. On the other side, there's phone calls like this.
I feel it, man.
I love that.
All right, Joey. Well, enjoy Panama, man. Thanks a lot. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Joey. Love you, man.
You too, God.
All right, be safe. Bye.
Later.
All right.
Love it.
Off the cuff, man.
That's great, dude.
All right.
Okay, so back to the jam.
Back to the
To
jam.
the night that we met.
At
Yeah.
Six and Franklin.
Yes.
So shout out to Joey for putting that stuff together and that vibe.
Yeah.
And, that also even inspired, me to try to do similar things like that where you're kind of bringing people together and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, so I met Zack at Six and Franklin. And it was just, the first night, we didn't really meet all the way, but we were jamming
You
together.
remember who brought you there?
I don't remember who. I should have checked this morning, but I don't remember who brought me there. But that was from a whole, just the dots connecting. It's crazy how that works. I always am fascinated with looking back on man, if that didn't happen, this wouldn't happen.
Okay, so I guess we should say, even though it does look like this is the same day, because you just said I should have checked this morning. So we tried to film this interview yesterday, and the microphone, all the other footage I took of that day was great. But for some reason, the microphone was just buzzing the entire time of our interview.
Right.
So we're kind of going over some similar things we talked about yesterday, but I think it's actually cool because
we didn't have that phone call yesterday.
we didn't have that phone call yesterday, and now we're getting to think of other stuff. But
and it looks better today. We got a better
it
setup.
does. It looks way
It's all
better
good.
today. But you said he does ribs or something like that?
Yeah, Rib King. I should have checked, but
It's okay, man. We love you, whoever you are.
hold on, I'm
And
gonna find out real quick now. Let me see. Because let me see if you know who I'm talking about, but
dude, I feel like I have it in my head too right now. It's
I just seen you talk
Sterling?
to him on Facebook. You know what? Hold on, I know exactly where I can find them. Sorry for the delay here.
No, it's all right. So
Where? Man, how do I change this?
So yeah, while Mike looks at that, so we met at this jam at Six and Franklin. I don't think we talked the first time, but we did talk the second time. The jams were really cool. We had I want to say every week, every month, so many musicians would just come and jam, and I met so many cool musicians from those jam nights, and it was just so cool to see the collaborations and people do stuff together. And
Jordan Fairbanks.
Jordan Fairbanks.
Yes.
There we go.
There you go. Jordan Fairbanks. So Jordan.
Shout out to Jordan Fairbanks.
Jordan.
Dude, I'm so glad we found out who it was. Okay.
Yeah,
Jordan,
okay, so
thank
I saw you talking to him on Facebook the other day, but anyways, he's starting a new business, so shout out to him, check out his ribs. But he mentioned this Six and Franklin to me, and then invited me one night. I went there, did the jam, saw you. Then I went back for some other show that I don't remember, but I met you. You were performing, and then that's when I was like, remember I walked up to you and I was like, man, like, you're gonna make it, man. You know what I'm saying? I was hyped, and I was like, yeah, you know, I thought it was great, super talented. You know, I get excited. So I was like, man, you got it, man.
I was hyped, dude. I was like, this guy is super nice. I was like, dude, it's just, you know, it's funny, man, because in those moments, it's like, you know, I feel like for the most part, I'm pretty humble. But, dude, those moments are just cool, man. Yeah. It's like when anyone feels that way about me or, yeah, just those little moments of validation where I just see that, like, super real, authentic energy in someone coming up to me.
Right,
bro,
right,
you're gonna make it. I'm like,
you're gonna make it,
man. I think so too.
I hope so, right? Yeah, yeah. So that's how we met, and then
go to the jam. Like, so the first jam we were talking about yesterday. That it was like
reason.
No rhyme, bro. Yeah. So
yeah,
just
there
like,
was no rhyme or reason. So when I was looking at the jam,
this is the first. This is the night before this.
This was like something that you would see in the movie, man. I felt like where people are jamming, but it's like nobody's jamming in sync together. I felt like, you know what I'm saying? It was just like, it was almost like the drums are playing and like the guitar is offbeat. Like everything is just like different, I felt like. And people were just like, yeah, man, you know? So I'm like, all right. And then finally when Zack got on, he was like the one that like was on beat, made some sense. And that's when I was like, all right, cool, let me go up there and do my thing too. And it was funny because I remember I was rapping and you were just like, yeah, you were like, oh, all this like different like melodies and stuff like that. But it was just wild. But that was the time when it made the most sense.
Yeah.
When you and I were like jamming together.
Yeah.
And then after that, we ended up, somebody put us on like the same show and I saw you there at this different place at the Waterhole. And then
so this is now the Waterhole's the third time.
Waterhole's the third time.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yo, man, like, can you just play this guitar? And then,
yeah.
You know what? I remember
Tell me.
how I got to Six and Franklin, I'm pretty sure now.
Okay.
Funny, because I went to the bunkhouse for an open mic one night.
Yeah.
And that's where I met Camden West. And I asked Camden, can you play the guitar for me?
Right.
Well, because in the moment, just so you guys know, in the moment, everybody's like, there's a few other rappers there. Shout out to Elmer. I think Elmer was there too. Elmer Abapo.
Yeah.
And there was a few other people and they were rapping on the beats. And then so I'm like, all right, well, what could I do a little different? So then I saw Camden play before me. So I was like, hey, Camden. I was like, hey, man, can you play the guitar? And he was like, yeah, man, whatever. Like, that's cool.
Right.
And he played it. And then I even told him about the Suicide song, the Jumper song.
Yeah.
And he was like, on the spot, he was like, let me hear it. Okay, yeah, I got it. And then we did Jumper for the first time at this open mic. And
dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, I was trying to be different. But yeah, that's where I met Camden. So,
that's crazy.
Before I forget,
love that.
Then I saw Camden had a show at Six and Franklin because I think you were on the same show with Camden, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think so.
And that's how I got there because of Camden. Again, when I saw you perform for real.
Okay.
And then from there, you and I were on the same show, and that's when I was like, hey, can you play this guitar? You had the Streetlights melody in the chorus, and then we just made like a song and stuff. But
yeah, so if you guys haven't already heard my song with Mike called Streetlights, go check it out. It's on which EP?
Still Dreaming.
Still Dreaming. There we go. We got the shirt, dude.
Thank God I'm still dreaming. Yeah.
We'll talk about your merch and all your websites at the end. But where you guys can pick up some Mike Xavier merch. But yeah, so I had this guitar thing, just like the street lights and night, and all the windows are closed. Yeah, it was this little thing, and that it hadn't become a song yet. And so as soon as you asked me to play something, that was just like the latest thing that was in my head. Yeah. And Mike had this song called Purpose.
Right.
And it that was it. I played that melody. And dude, I actually have video of that.
I have the video. I sent you the video.
Maybe I'll cut that into this.
Yeah, I sent you the video for the Fox thing. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we might cut that into this because that is a really cool moment.
Yeah.
And so yeah, then eventually we
was a
finished
while
the
back.
song, but dude, what were you saying yesterday about how you don't think
The
any
song
of the lyrics
doesn't make any sense together. The lyrics don't make any sense. And it's funny because every time I listen to the album as a whole, it's like, cool, makes sense. And then you get the Streetlights, and the song doesn't make sense at all in terms of like the chorus is about streetlights and then the verses are about something else. And then the bridge is like all of a sudden becomes a love song. And you're like, say you'll never let me go now. Yeah, it's like, what the hell? What is it good? It's like, say you'll never let me go now. And then it's like, what does it say after that?
I've been feeling so
alone and stuck. It's like all
the way home.
yeah, it's all my.
Cause I know how you feel.
Yeah, because I know how I feel about you. Oh, it's like, what the hell does that have to do with the rest of the song?
You wrote that with me.
I know. It's because you had the melody, and that's like the lyrics came to mind. But it's so funny because it just has nothing to do with the chorus, has nothing to do with the bridge, or like the verse.
I think the
don't
general
know.
feeling relates. I don't know. I mean, I was saying yesterday too that I've been doing those lyric breakdowns, and I broke down the first song I did was this break-off song with Fancy Monster, and it's super esoteric, and I just think it doesn't always matter if the lyrics make perfect sense, and that's what I want to tell some songwriters. If it just sounds cool, if it's like the general feeling is there, don't let it stop you. And I still think that song is amazing. People love that song, and even though it doesn't perfectly fit maybe the lyrics, it's like, dude, it's still a vibe.
It's still a vibe. I mean, I always try to go the opposite, where I like the chorus and the bridge and the whole song as a whole to make sense. But yeah, it's still a good song. Everybody loves the song, especially when we perform it, which is cool.
Yes, and yeah, it was cool. So I mean, what? So funny.
I was just thinking about the time at Vinyl when we performed the song.
I didn't want to bring that up yesterday. Okay, so
that was hilarious.
Okay, well, so. Oh man! All right, let me just.
We don't gotta bring it up. But
no, we have to now. We have to.
That was hilarious.
We have to bring it up. So, yeah. First, I guess let's talk about. So yeah, me and Mike have performed Streetlights at a bunch of really cool shows. The coolest being Life is Beautiful. Mike played Life is Beautiful in 2018. Right. He brought me. It was awesome. And then the next year, I was back at Life is Beautiful. And brought him back. We didn't play Streetlights that, but basically, it was so cool to like both of us were there back to back. Life is Beautiful. Shout out to Life is Beautiful. Right. But the show he is referring to, I don't really smoke weed that much anymore, but I really don't. It's something I have a lot of friends that do, but it's just not really my thing anymore. But sometimes I do, and at this particular show. Mike had told me, because I'm always like, in the past I was like, bro, are we gonna perform Streetlights? And I'm always like, it's up to you, man. It's your show.
And this time I wasn't going to because we had already performed it. I was trying to put together like a different set.
Yeah, I didn't care. I was like, dude, it's all good, man. I don't care. So because he told me that he wasn't gonna play, I was like, I'm chilling. Yeah, I'm chilling tonight. Chilling. So like, I was next to someone in the crowd, and someone was like, hey man, you want to hit this? It was like a weed vape or something like that. And I was like, yeah, sure, dude. And then, so, dude, I was pretty stoned. I was pretty stoned, dude. And then, so, sold out show at Vinyl. Like, you killed it, sold this thing out. And
Vinyl's at the Hard Rock, which is now the Virgin Hotel.
Yeah, so basically, the show ends, you play your last song, and the crowd's just going off.
Asking for another song,
And then,
dude, the guy you're with is like, one more song.
Yeah, dude.
It's like, and then when it got to the point where it was like one more song.
And you go, dude, in my mind, I was like.
Well, they're in the crowd, the guy knows the song, he's like, play Streetlights.
And then you looked at Jalen, and Jalen's like.
My son Jalen, Ty, and then.
I just knew it. I was like, dude, I'm going up.
So I'm like, all right, let's do Streetlights. Hey, bring in my boy Zack.
I used to wear glasses all the time.
He's on the clouds, man.
I am in the clouds.
He's on the clouds. So just to put it from my perspective, so I call him up and I'm like, yeah, come on, let's do this song. And I notice in the moment we're on stage and I do the verse, he comes to the hook and he's doing the hook like 4 times, it feels like, back to back to back. And I'm looking at him like, all right, man, like, let's keep it moving. Like, let's go, because it's like we're done with the song and he keeps singing the song.
Dude, I was out of my mind. My mouth was like so dry. Dude, I'll never forget that.
He's walking around in circles.
Dude, I think, it was like the second chorus or something. I was just lost in it. I don't even know what was going on.
Oh my goodness. He was just walking around and he didn't know. It's like, oh man. Oh, if you could have seen him.
Man.
If you could have seen him from my perspective, he was just walking around, looked like he had no idea. Oh, that was just hilarious.
Unforgettable.
Unforgettable. Jeez.
Dude, is there a clip of that?
I don't know.
Dude.
I don't know, but it has me dying right now, but he just was so lost.
I just remember that moment where I was just like, because it was one of those moments where it's like, it's a sold out packed house at Vinyl. And like, there was no me saying no. It didn't matter. It's like, I was either like,
and he just kept singing the chorus.
I know.
Oh, it was so funny. And then I knew something was off, but I didn't really think about it. I was just like, yeah, that's different. And then like, I finished the verse and I was waiting for him to sing, and it was... Oh man, all right, we can get off of this, but it was just so funny, man. It just popped in my head.
That's hilarious. I know we didn't tell the story yesterday, but I'm actually super glad because that was so funny. I will never forget that.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Never forget that.
Woo! All right. So let's get into multiple sources of income, or just like grinding or something like that.
Yeah. So Mike does a lot of different stuff, and I just kind of want you to share what you're doing right now in addition to music. And we talk a lot about building a foundation and having different streams of income and different ways to build your brand, build your own empire, and so talk to us about that. Talk about the companies you have, this space that we're in, the other space that you have, and what's going on.
So we're inside our photography studio, which my fiance and I got this place together, and then we allow people to rent the space. But we also do photography too, so we'll do photo shoots in here all the time. And
Renowned Photos.
Yep. RENOWNED.
Yep.
So we do photography and for all kinds of stuff, And we turned this into a business, which is cool. And the goal with this was to replace my fiance's income.
Right.
Which we already have.
Right.
Basically like doubled it, which is cool.
Yeah.
Within a year's time frame, which is awesome. And so the goal was to replace her income, get her out of her 9 to 5, if you will, to take this over so I can go and do something else, And so now we just started or opened up another business, which is we call it a micro event space.
Yeah.
Which allows people to have, networking parties, album listening parties, whatever,
Yeah.
on a small scale.
Right.
And so it's been going great, since we opened in October, right? So we're, what's today? December 23rd.
Yes.
So it's been like 2.5 months and it's been going great. And we already started making our money profitable on month 1, which is cool. And it just keeps getting busier.
Yeah.
But the whole point of doing that was to have multiple sources of income, you know? So right now we have 3 main incomes, which is her 9 to 5, right? Yeah. This photography company, and now strong contender in that is the Suite space, Suite 150 across the street. Yeah. And definitely not trying to stop there, man. Yeah. Already looking for the next opportunity to get into, to create something, to get going. But I was inspired the other day. I don't remember exactly from where, but I just thought there was this cool concept of somebody who was just building new things, building businesses, acquiring all these you know, whether it's starting a new business or buying a business or whatever, but it was just being like that serial entrepreneur, which is like exciting, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's like we run multiple businesses now,
Right.
but I could for sure get another one going, you know?
Yeah.
And then you got multiple sources of income, man.
Yep.
So that's where I'm at.
So we were talking yesterday too about the new space that you had and how you've priced it compared.
Yes.
So that was just a really cool thing.
Yeah, I can touch on that too.
And like knowing your worth, setting a value, and the right people will pay for it, and what you
Right.
bring to that. Walk us through that from
So
yesterday.
what I was saying is that to be confident in pricing,
Yeah.
and you don't have to be the cheapest option, you know? It's okay to price higher than other people or other businesses. And we do that. With the space especially, it's like, man, I know you're getting a great, fair deal.
Yeah.
I'm not charging you a crazy amount. It's not the least amount that you could pay out there.
Right.
But it's a fair deal
Yeah.
for both ways,
Yeah.
you know? And it allows people to have their events. And I have people that are like, man, thanks, you know? Like, they're like, thanks so much for the space.
Yeah.
And it's priced sometimes double than what other people are charging for their space.
Yeah.
And it's all good, you know? I had this price set in my mind from the beginning. Off the top, people are paying for it. I haven't had anybody outside of maybe like a nonprofit that's been like, is there a deal that I can get? But everybody else is like, yeah, sounds good to me, you know?
Yeah.
Even on top of that, like another thing is we require like special event insurance, which is another added cost.
Right.
But people still, even with that, it's like it's worth paying,
Yeah.
you know? And I'd say all that to say like, yeah, you don't have to be the cheapest option out there, man. You can be priced a little higher than your competitors because you're offering a better quality experience.
Say the thing about the peace of mind thing. And then
Yeah.
like you can go look at it.
Yeah, so I'll tell people, you know, I used to say this all the time, but it's like we don't offer lower prices, but we do offer peace of mind, you know?
I love that.
It's like simple, but yeah, it's true. Because it's like, you know, it's like reliable. Like, you know, on the photography side, we'll get people that, I just dealt with a woman the other day who, it was, she went on a shoot on Saturday and I think it's like Friday morning, and she's like, yeah, our photographer just canceled on us. And they were less expensive.
Right.
And so when I told her the price, I said, yeah, this is the price. I would assume it could be higher than what you were paying before, but you're welcome to shop around. I understand it's last minute. Feel free to shop around. And she came back immediately and was like, no, price is good with us. Like, yeah, we're good. But it was, I priced it higher,
Yeah.
being that it was even last minute.
Yeah.
And because sometimes, I was even telling my mom yesterday, it's like sometimes, whatever, man, like I don't care. I don't care not to get the money. I could care less about getting the money sometimes. It's just like, sure, I can go and make a couple $100 real quick, whatever. But then at the same time, there's times where I'm just like, yeah, I'd rather just be at the house handling some business.
Totally,
You know what I'm
bro.
saying? So I priced it a little more.
Totally,
I priced it a little more. She was like, yeah, I'm on it. Like, that's all good with us.
Yeah.
Like, how do I pay?
Yeah.
You know? And yeah, you just got to be confident in paying. But I did tell her, shop around. And
Right.
she was like, nope, I don't want to. Like, yeah, it's all good. Let's make it happen. But with other times, people with the space, I'll tell them the same thing. Like, because I know, I've already done the research, you know? I already know what most of the people are pricing it at. And so, like, if I tell you X amount of dollars, I know you're going to go somewhere else and hear maybe a little less, but you're getting a lot less more.
Right.
Or you're hearing more, and it's not as good of a deal as what I'm giving you.
Right.
And also, it's like supply and demand, man.
Right.
Especially with the space, more so than anything. Photography, a lot of photographers and stuff like that, but I know that there's not a lot of spaces that will let you do what we're letting people do in our space.
Right.
So it's like, the cold reality in that case too is like, you need me a lot more than I need you, you know?
Right.
So I don't even sweat it when like somebody's going to like say they're gonna book for New Year's Eve, right?
Right.
And then like I had a girl who wanted to book for New Year's Eve, and then she was like, oh yeah, something fell through or blah, blah, blah. I'm not even tripping because I know that somebody else is gonna book the day.
Right.
So obviously New Year's Eve is a lot more popular, but just in general, it doesn't even matter if it's New Year's. It's like I have people that'll book a Saturday in January.
Yeah.
Like, or for example, December 11th, which was a Saturday this year, or this month, I had several people that asked about it. Some people fell through or didn't get back to me, whatever. I wasn't even tripping on it. And the date was like booked from open to close, you know? So it's like, people are going to come around. I'm confident with that, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, for me with the whole, the vocal fee to sing on stuff, it's, man, there's so much stuff I pass on and yeah, you know, it's like, and I know my worth and I said it. I mean, my vocal fee's gone up, you know what I mean? And, you know, there's been rare moments where, you know, I will come down if I like just super like something and someone's budget is like, is lower. There was one situation where this dude had only spent like this really low amount of money. And me and Natasha were like, what? Like, that's all you spent on vocalists? And, you know, we talked to him like, you know, hey, this is my livelihood. You know what I mean? And we got him up a little bit more. But I took the song because I was just like, dude, this is an incredible song. You know? But yeah, I mean, besides those very small situations, it's like, dude, like I said it. And dude, one of my, literally, I think my favorite song I've ever written was the first time we got the most, when my vocal fee went up to the highest it's been. And we got it. And it's one of my favorite songs ever. And when I talked to this kid, he was like so humble, so nice. And the situation and the song is incredible. And it's like, dude, that right person was completely fine with that price. There was like no backlash at all.
Well, you know, to touch on that and add to it, when you lower your price, and I speak from experience too, I mean, I've done it in the past, but one thing that I've learned is that the people, like the saying goes, like the people who want to pay the least, for some odd reason,
Yes.
whatever, however it works, the
up.
universe has its ways, they end up wanting more.
Right.
So it's like, you'll get somebody who doesn't want to pay $1,000 for whatever you're asking them to. So you're like, right, maybe you can use the money. You're like, all right, cool, man, I'll give it to you for $700 or whatever, right?
Right.
And then all of a sudden, they're in this mindset that they paid you $2,000, you know? Like, they act like if they paid you so much money when they didn't even pay you your proper amount.
Right.
And they're wanting more from you. So it's like, I really have been, like, staying away from that because it's, like, super annoying to deal with that kind of stuff. Because it's like, I already know. It's like red flags. If they're being this way in the beginning and they haven't even paid you, they're already haggling, man, just leave it alone. That's my train of thought now, so I'm not even dealing with that.
Totally, bro.
But the other thing I wanted to say too is I think on some level, it could also affect your quality of service. Because in your mind on the low somewhere, you're like, man, this guy I'm gonna just do whatever. He didn't even pay full price or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So you're like, you know what I'm saying? Like, whether people admit it or not, they're kind of like, maybe in photography, you're like, I'm not going to put all the time and effort into editing this thing. Or I'm not going to do this. Dude. Or I'm not going to, whatever, because they paid less. So you're not even, it's like you're doing a disservice to yourself because you're also not putting out your best work that you would if you felt good about how much you got paid for the job, whatever it is. So I try to stay away from those things now more than ever because it's like, works. There's a lot of things that are impacted by that.
Dude, even this song, like I said, I love this song. I love the beat. Like, it's going to be a great song. But just knowing that I had to come down more than half, like literally, like less than 50% of what I usually get, you know, in my mind, I'm like, no, it's not a priority. Because, like, you know, they put a deposit up front and then I get the rest of the money. But it's like the rest of the money that I'm going to get for finishing it is so small that it's like, you know, there's these other songs I'm going to focus on finishing first because they come with more money. So even that song, even though I love it, it's like in my mind, I have that in my head. Like, dude, you know, I came down, he didn't pay as much as, you know. So it's the same thing. It's like I already feel like in my head, even though it's like I said, it's going to be a great song. I'm stoked about it. But to just go to that point, it's exactly the same thing.
I also want to say, and this is going to be dependent on what you're doing.
I need more coffee.
But you know what? Just for the record, we except on higher amounts. So that's why I say it depends on what you're doing.
Yeah, and I think there's moments where doing stuff for free it is good if the intention, if you feel like you're giving back, if like it's really. I'm not saying like we never do things for free for people and stuff like that. Like me and you've worked together, we like do some trades and stuff like that. But yeah, for the most part, if you're trying to run a business, if you're trying to like your livelihood, it's like, dude, set your price, know your worth, and like the right people will pay it. But go ahead.
2 things on that. So one, I for one, I'm cool with doing things for free because if it's beneficial in some way.
Yes.
So there's no confusion there because some people are like, I would never do that, whatever. But I've done it a lot of times where it's like that one little thing, had I not done for free, would not have generated thousands. Like I've done things for free that have literally generated tens of thousands of business from me doing that one for free.
Well, like
Because
all
it's
my
a
songs at the
snowball
beginning,
effect.
especially in the EDM scene, were all for free too.
Yeah,
Same
so
thing, man.
I'm down with that.
Yeah.
If it makes sense.
Yes.
Okay. The other thing is, we charge in full. Like for 90% of what we do, people are paying the amount in full.
Yeah.
And so that throws some people off initially, but to me, it's like, whatever, because I only want to deal with people who are serious about their business.
Exactly.
So, and again, they're smaller amounts.
Right.
If they're larger, thousands of dollars, on that note, a lot of times I don't even want that money. I would much prefer to get a very small deposit and know I have thousands coming later on.
Right.
So that's how I do business. People are
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
Some people do 50-50. I want, like, if you're going to pay me $3,000, if you're going to pay me $3,100, give me $100 now. Give me $3,000 later.
Okay.
Okay? Because I know I'm going to spend it as soon as I get it for the most part. So, or put it in something, but I'd rather get more later. But anything like $1,000 and below, I'm asking for it in full.
Yeah.
Because that's a small amount for someone who's really, I mean, obviously it's not a small amount, but I'm saying, like, if you're serious about your business,
Totally,
there's
bro.
so many people that are saying, hey, Mike, can I get this date? Can we do this time? I can only deal with serious people, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, if you want to book a photo shoot, or if you want to rent a studio, rent a space, you got to pay in full, because there's somebody else who's dead serious and is going to pay in full. So
Yeah.
it's not worth it to me to take your word for it that you're going to come through, and I'm not going to turn down 10 other people for your date and time
Right.
when you give me a $50 deposit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I feel it, man. I mean, I think the whole, you take it serious too. I mean, obviously my only relation to this right now is like my vocal fee and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, the people who pay it understand that, like, dude, like, there's so many producers out there, but if you don't have a great vocal, a great recorded, amazing song written over your production, it's like, yeah, unless the production is like incredible, like Flume or Skrillex or something like that's like breaking, you know, the mold of some things. It's like, dude, you need to have like an amazing song written over your thing, and the right people know that. And yeah, it's, you know, I mean, like I said, that one, you know, the dude who paid the most so far, and what my fee is right now, and you know, it's like I said, it's like one of the best songs I've ever written.
Right. And you know what? There's nothing
he
wrong
knew the
with
important with that, you know?
Right. There's nothing wrong with, you know, starting and scaling up as you go. Like, maybe initially you're doing stuff for a little less, but you're building your catalog.
Exactly.
Whatever it is, whether it's the
Exactly.
music or the photography.
Exactly.
Or events. Like, for me to get reviews. I mean, I've been charging the same amount since day one over here at the space. But it's helped, you know, either way, because you're like building a reputation, if you will.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with doing it. But yeah, multiple sources of income, man.
Yeah, but okay, so yeah, so on that, let's go into momentum. We were talking about yesterday,
Yeah.
and then leaving your mark. You know,
Yes.
and then I want to talk about a little about Vegas and what's going on too, and what you see for
Okay,
Vegas.
so momentum. So what happened was, just real short story. I was doing events, right? I'm a hip hop and poetry.
Yeah, so talk
night.
about hip hop and poetry. For
Yeah,
a little
so
bit.
I
This
curate-
was a big event that Mike did last year. It was a big part of your income too. It was this. Yeah, tell us about hip hop
Yeah,
and poetry.
so-
Super cool thing in the city.
I have an event. I produce an event called Hip Hop and Poetry Night, which is cool, and it was beginning to sell out. The last couple of shows sold out in Vegas, and I was about to do another one 2 weeks away. I was like, yeah, actually, I think I was like a week away, and it was basically like sold out. We had to cancel it. Everything got shut down.
Yeah.
So, and then I also produced the show with Caesars Entertainment, like, you know, Caesar's Palace, stuff like that. And
That was at the Link.
that was at the Link Promenade, right in front of. We would build the stage right in front of In-N-Out on the water fountain.
Yeah, so there'd be a stage that goes on top of the water fountain.
Yeah, they
That's
would put
cool.
a straight stage on top of
Yeah.
the water fountain, and it was cool, man. And I paid really well, and so I was making some good money doing all that, and then everything got shut down. So then we're in lockdown, and I'm thinking like, all right, well, what else can I do? And so one of the things that I thought is I can get back into photography and like build this business to replace my fiance's income.
Right.
And one of the things I thought too was like, all right, well, we're in a pandemic, right? it's going to take some time to get in, to get out of it. So like, what could I do for future income? So I started booking like for wedding services, you know, because like when they come back, they book a year in advance. So it's like, I could do that now, get that money coming in later. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so,
year in advance.
Yeah, year in advance. A lot of times they will.
That's crazy.
Vegas, it's a little less time because it's like people are like,
I'm getting married.
Yeah. Looking for a photographer for this weekend.
Yeah,
You know, it's really like that. But that was like the thing. Like, so basically I decided to just build a business out of this.
Yeah.
And I took the time to do that, built the momentum, already replaced my fiance's income, basically doubled her work income 9 to 5 with this business in a year's time frame. Okay. And then we got the studio. This helped us get the Suite 150 across the street.
Right.
And so that momentum is now, I'm looking for it, you know? It's like I'm looking for the next thing, because now these 2 things are going to help us get something else.
Right.
And then those 3 things will help us get to the 4th.
Yep.
But it's all about momentum, you know? And if you get, it's like a snowball effect. Even with your business, even if you were just in one business, like how you're doing the music and kind of getting that out there, it's like you start doing all these tracks for people, then the word starts to get around. So it becomes a snowball effect, because then you get new clients and you get repeat clients.
Yeah.
And now it's like you're booked all the time. So with the photography, it's the same thing. With the suite, it's the same thing, where it's like you go through year 1. I've found in businesses, at least for me, how I've approached businesses, it usually takes a year to start getting some money rolling in.
Feel
right?
that.
A year.
Yep.
Which is not a long time. To you grind it out, and in a year you're self-employed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the way I see it is like, now with these 2 businesses, it's like we're gonna work on getting something else. But it's like if you put in the work, it could happen for you. So you put in a year's worth of work, you're getting all these new clients. Everybody's new at the beginning. But then year 2, you have new and you have repeat.
Right.
Now you're like, you go from 10 bookings a month to 20.
Right.
And then it just continues to grow. So
go a little bit into like the whole taking risk type thing.
Yeah. So for us, it was a risk to get this place, you know, because it's like, it was basically, I mean, it was more than our rent, you know.
Yeah.
It was like more than what we're paying for our place to live.
Right.
So it's like, man, you're already paying this, and you know that's a big burden on people already, your rent. So to you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like to take that and be like, yeah, let's double that up, you know, and get a place where we have no clientele, we have no customers, nobody's booking. It's not like they're hitting me up to be like, hey, I wish you had a studio so I can rent it. You know what I'm saying? It's like that. None of that's happening. But I had a vision, and I was like, man, I could see how I can sell it.
Yeah.
I'm a sales guy, and so I thought like, man, I could sell it. So that's powerful if you're confident in what your abilities are.
Yes.
So anyways, we got the space during the pandemic. Everything's still closed. And so obviously that was like a risk in itself, like to open up a business during the pandemic, you know? And so, but I knew I can sell it, and I have. And I'm glad that we're here, because the area is coming up, and it's just a growing community, and people love the space, and we're here now, we're locked in. And I'm sure now the rates have risen, and they're higher. And so when we got the other space, again, it was more than our rent and this place combined. It was more than like our rent at home, and then the rent here. Yeah. The other place was more than both of those combined, you know what I'm saying? So like that was a risk in itself to do again, but I had the vision, and I knew I can sell it, and I've sold it. From month 1, we started making profit, you know? So it's like, you gotta be able to have a plan. And I mean, it's great to have things drawn out. You know, I'd say like build a business plan. I kind of am a mental person, so I have it in my head. I just see it, and I'm just like, yeah, I know this is what I could do. Right. So anyways, we did that, and man, it's great. Like, it's really become a great opportunity to be in there, because it's been a fight. It was a little fight to get into the other space, just like it was here. But now it's like the potential is amazing, I feel like. Right. Amazing potential. I mean, great numbers. And so it's like, that's awesome, man. It was everything that I thought it could be. Right. But had I not tried it, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, you know, I think the thing about risk is, you know, even Joey, kind of something he said, it's like, we all have side hustles, we all have other, you know, I had to work a job forever as a server, but, you know, at some point you got to just take that risk, and you got to jump into what you want. And, even if it doesn't work out right away, what you're going to learn through that process is incredible. But, you're living proof that, taking that risk, not exactly knowing how, and that's something I've been talking a lot about is know what you want, start taking actions. That was what we were talking about yesterday too. It's like, dude, it's like, yeah, everything you want is comes after a risk, and then on top of that is actions, and then seeing it. And like I said, you're living proof that taking that risk and doing that thing, it paid off. And I mean, it's crazy to even just think that that space is like month one, you're profitable, and it's
month one.
And it was a scary thing. You're probably like, oh, it's like double the rent of all this stuff, but it's
Yeah.
like, dude, just I just feel like even for me, man, so many times like when I've made music like a thing since I was like 13,
right.
But it's like, and it took a long time to get different levels, but it's like, as soon as you just put that focus and it's amazing. And even this whole, I guess this whole YouTube thing is kind of a part of my diversification, but definitely scary at the beginning, and just to go on that momentum. I'll say the same analogy I said yesterday too. I kind of like that we're able to just like talk about what we said yesterday and think about what else we want to add.
I do want to say three things, I think. So just real quick, if we go back on the pricing, I just want to say there was this book that I read called Go for No.
Okay.
And there was this sales clerk who was in a clothing store, attire, right? Mm-hmm. The guy goes in and he buys this, basically buying all the stuff the salesperson is recommending.
Right.
You need a new tie, you need some new shoes, whatever. So he gets to the end and he's like, all right, well, let's check you out, right? Guy's like, cool, let's pay for it, whatever, done deal. The other like salesman or manager, whoever, asked the kid, because he was a new kid, excited, and he said, he's like, why'd you like stop there, right? And he was like, yeah, well, I thought that was cool or whatever, but I don't want to like have too much stuff, he was saying. But the point was to not, I don't know if you would say like shop, but the point was basically like not to sell people on what you think is in their wallet. You know what I mean?
Oh.
So it's
right.
You could be like telling somebody for a song, like, you're judging them, you're sizing them up. You're like, would usually tell him $1,500, but I don't even think he'd afford that. So I'm gonna just be like, $800.
Right.
Mind you, he was like, yeah, man, cool. I thought it was gonna be 2,000. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, don't sell yourself short trying to
Right.
sell people on what you think they can afford.
I love that.
Okay, that's one thing I want to just go back to the price.
I love that.
And
Yeah.
I'll leave that alone.
Yeah.
The other thing was with the risk. As I'm doing this stuff, it's building my risk tolerance.
I love that.
So it's like, we did this place with our rent. It was more than our rent. We're like, yeah, let's do it. Then we went to the other place, was more than both our home rent, our apartment rent, and our
Plus
rent at the
this
place.
rent. Yeah.
And we're like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah.
Which means, because there's been times where I've looked at, like, I want to open up an event space,
Yeah.
like even a place where I can have live shows and stuff like that.
Right.
Let me tell you, I've been looking. It's like that could easily be $6,000, $10,000 a month.
Yep.
$15,000 a month, right?
Yep.
So when you look at that before, you're like, that's insane. Like,
Right.
why would I do that? That's crazy. I'm gonna
Right.
pay over $100,000 in rent to this place. Like, that's gone. But now looking at the experience as a whole, you're thinking, yeah, maybe I'm gonna do $120,000 in rent because I'm paying $10,000 a month, which
Right,
sounds crazy.
right.
But maybe now I'm making $350,000, $500,000 out of this place.
Yep.
So it's like your risk tolerance builds and grows stronger, right?
Yeah.
So the other thing I was gonna say is, for any entrepreneurs out there, I have always made more money working for myself than working for an employer. Always.
Amen.
And I mean, double at least a lot of times. Like
Yeah.
they can give you a salary of $50,000 and I've made $100,000 working for myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not for everybody, right?
No.
But for the people that think they got it in them, I say go for it, man. Because
Yeah.
who's gonna pay you more of what you're worth than yourself? And it's like,
Amen.
corporate America is a wild place to navigate, man. You could work for a company, and we obviously, with the pandemic, you've seen that come to
People work
fruition
for a company
everybody.
for 20 years, they just get fired, laid off. Yeah.
Just laid off, that's it.
Sorry.
Start over somewhere else.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a cold, cold world out there, man.
Yeah.
Build your own business. You could take
Yes,
10
man.
years working for yourself instead of 20 years working for somebody else and be so much more successful.
And yeah, I think it's fine to, dude, even if it takes you even 10 years while you're working at somewhere else, that you can
building the momentum,
and then at some point they cross. So I honestly, I think it's smart for, besides like investing and stuff like that, it's smart for every single person to figure out what else they like to do. Right. And even if it takes 10, 20, 30, it doesn't even matter. If you're built, what were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say it doesn't matter, but you brought up a good point, because I think I've told you this too, where there was this guy that I was talking to, or this quote that I heard or something like that, and it said that if we slow down and look at our lives on a much longer span, you realize you have a lot of time left,
Yes.
So when I was 20, or when I'm 15, I'm thinking like, man, I got to have everything by the time I'm 21. Or when I was 20, it's like by the time you're 30, you got to have life figured out. You realize you put a lot of unnecessary pressure on yourself. I have a friend that I talked to recently who's 40, and it's like he feels like he has nothing to show for it, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what, man? I told him after hearing that quote, I'm like, man, the reality is it's all good, because we live a lot longer than we did before, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like you can be 40 years old right now, for whoever's out there, you can be 40 years old right now and put in a decade worth of work on your own business, whether you're starting a new career and you're working for somebody else, whatever it is, climbing up the corporate ladder or building your own business, you can put in 10 years of work and still be all good.
Yes.
You can have $100,000+, $500, $1 million worth business or whatever you're doing, have employees. It doesn't happen in a year, but you can put in 10 years of work working for yourself, or 10 years of work really going for your, like, zone in on your career. Mm-hmm. And in 10 years, you're like in a whole new place. Yeah. And you still got life to live. You got your retirement set up. You're all good. And we get so wrapped up in setting these time frames for ourselves, not thinking like, man, even if you're 50, you can go from 50 to 60.
Because someone that's 60 or 70 looking at someone who's 40, they're like, you're so young. I wish I did that when I was 40. I mean, dude, I got so wrapped up for years comparing myself to all these people who blow up and they're like 20 and like, and it's like I thought I was going to be the next Coldplay at 23, and 23 came and went, and I had this I had this anxiety like getting towards 30. But now that I'm 30, I'm 32 now, and I've, dude, I have just realized, man, not only do I love how I feel now, but bro, it's like you're still young, and I know a lot of people listen to Gary Vee yelling at you guys every day, telling you to do it. But the biggest thing that Gary Vee says, which I will never forget, is he talks about patience, and he's like, dude, you got these like 21-year-old kids like stressing out because they're not like this super like big
at a young age.
And it's like, dude, like everyone's on their own journey. Like just because some prodigy kid figures out how to invest or like comes up with this crazy idea doesn't mean that should make you feel any less. And timeless songs, good business ideas, and anything that's valuable to the world and your community at large, that is, dude, it's gonna stand on its own, and it doesn't matter how old you are, and it doesn't matter about anything else. It's like, take your time. I mean, dude, there's so many stories about people who are just massively successful.
Well, they talk about all the time. Like, look at Quincy Jones. I think they said he made Thriller at like 50. Khaled said, DJ Khaled I saw a clip the other day that he was like, I was broke till I was 42.
There you go.
And now it's multimillionaire. Like, he worked for free for the 40 years, It doesn't have to come overnight, man. No. And I mean, again, you could be 50, put in 10 years of work, and be living on a beach, retiring in the Bahamas because you built up a $100,000 net business a year. Yeah. And you're all good now.
Yep.
It's not too late. Is the point. I feel like get on your grind, man. It's not too late.
Yeah. So to wrap up on the momentum thing, just the analogy that I've really liked lately. I mean, I told you I've been, the whole thing about putting God first in my life, and that's just like really lit a fire in me. I felt like I was at a 3 and now I'm at a 10. But the other analogy that I've absolutely loved is I've kind of known what the path is, even though it's changed. And I think that's too. It's like be open to, whether you feel like it's God or the universe, like what's the real right thing. To me, it is God, obviously. But dude, it's like I've been open to my music career changing. Like I thought I was gonna be in a band, and then I did like the singer EDM, and now I want to do the DJ thing with that. It's like I never thought 10 years ago I was gonna be a DJ. I thought I was gonna be this huge band, then I was gonna be a solo artist, and like I had just like this whole thing planned out. And then I never thought I was gonna do like the YouTube thing like I am now. So I've just been open to. I feel like sometimes we don't know what's actually gonna be the best thing that's gonna completely resonate and what our purpose really is, and eventually you find that and I feel like I've really found my purpose now. But so to go on the whole momentum thing, it's like I feel like, especially with this YouTube thing, like it was really rough at the beginning. It wasn't really rough, but it was just weird. It was weird to like talk to the camera about anything.
Yeah, you're learning on the job now though.
Now that I'm learning on the job. So that was something we also talked about yesterday was, dude, don't let something that you don't know, don't let the how stop you. It's like learn as you go. And this process for me with the whole YouTube thing has been so amazing. Even dude, this is crazy. I'm at 15 videos now.
Wow.
14 or 15 videos since 2 weeks ago. I just looked at it. I was like, whoa, 15 videos. And it's crazy when someone's like 15 videos, like, whoa, that's a lot, but dude, I've done it. So, but that, I feel like the analogy is I've been running like next to the train track, trying to catch the train. And through this process, and this was even in music now, it's like, eventually you're going to catch that train. But until you catch that train, man, sometimes it's going to be, it's going to be rough. But now that I'm on that train, it's like I'm on the train and I'm cruising.
Right.
And you just have to be willing to go through that pain, willing to go through that stuff. But I think to really, I guess the cherry on top to all that is you really got to find something that you love, and you really got to find out like what you feel like your purpose is. And for me, and I think for anyone out there, however this resonates, I feel like for me, like that's why my music always comes from something that's really true to me that I went through. And that's why I feel like it resonates with people, because it's, it's real emotion. It's like,
that was just the Bluetooth disconnected.
Oh, that's funny. It's real emotion. And, with what you put out in the world, with even this space, it's helping other people create. It's inspiring others. That's like all this YouTube stuff. Yeah, sometimes I'm goofy and funny, but I'm really just like being completely vulnerable, whether that's giving advice, whether that's telling my story, whether that's, doing stuff like that. I'm like authentically putting myself out into the world. And I've already seen the benefits of it, and I have people reach out to me almost every day, like, hey, I watched this video, it's inspired me. Right. Mike has this quote book too. It's like you said someone had reached out to you.
Yeah.
When you finally like put yourself out there and you're honest about what you do, it's like you're gonna see it affecting people. And I tell people, in one of the videos, I was like, even if you affect just like one person, one or two people, that is a success. And it's like, right. These likes and these views, it's like, imagine 100 people sitting in a room. It's like if 100 people watch your video or something like that, that's positive. And
I remember saying that. I like that. That was like, that's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people, 100 people.
Yeah.
And even if you affect one person, if someone's like, yo, I that's cool. I mean, even if someone listens to my song and like they feel better just for a little bit, it's like, right. That's so awesome. It's like, don't let all these materialistic things, like you can make a difference in someone's life every single day by how you are as a person, by being authentic. It's so important. So, I think the best thing is just giving back, man. I feel like whatever you feel like your purpose is, I feel like for me, and, this is God speaking through me too. It's like, I want to help people, man. I want to show people God's light, and I want to like inspire other people to really find what their calling is.
Right.
Man.
Yeah, you don't know
so important.
How your art or whatever you're doing is going to affect people in the world. So put it out there. Yeah. And it could be changing lives.
Yeah.
For real.
I love it. Okay. I don't know how long we've gone for, but just kind of wrap this up, Mike, I guess on, we're in this whole COVID era, but I think, things are getting better, but yeah, what do you see? First, what do you like about Vegas? What do you see going forward? What's your hope for the future? What are you excited about going into 2022? And I guess, and maybe we could both say, is there any kind of, I feel like I've been making resolutions and I don't care about the new year, you know what I mean? So I guess we can maybe wrap this up just because we're coming into Christmas, about like some New Year's resolutions that you're stoked about, and yeah.
I just had a thought right now. epiphany, if you will.
Oh, I love it. Ooh, epiphanies on the gray area.
But
love it.
it's just kind of like, you said resolutions, right? But I feel like right now, like I was telling you earlier, I'm not focused on like a resolution. I'm focused on the challenges that I want to accomplish.
I love that.
I want to. I have
New
things
Year's
that
challenges.
I have new challenges that I want to, do. Like I told you earlier, I want to challenge myself to do this.
Yeah.
Maybe it could be an argument that's kind of the same thing like a resolution. You got to stick to it. But for me, I just kind of feel like challenge sounds more appealing. Like, oh, I can't do that. Nah, I could do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like
there are things you want to challenge yourself or overcome.
Yeah.
this next
So
year.
I just feel like I want to embark on new endeavors, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel great about what I've accomplished this year.
Yeah.
And I want to say, Katie and I, my fiance, like we work as an exceptional team. Like we work exceptionally well together, and so we've accomplished a lot this year.
Yeah.
And building off that momentum, using that to our advantage, I feel like we're gonna accomplish more. Life is fun, man. It's all about like you just keep. I could do this, and then you go and do it.
Yeah.
Your mind is so powerful. Like it's amazing to see what you can accomplish. Like to see something before anybody else can, and you see it, and then you go and do it. Like that's crazy, man.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about new things that I want to accomplish next year, and keep building a better future for myself and my family. And so I have like, what I will do is kind of like zone in on those and like specify exactly like what I want to do.
Right.
But I'm just looking forward to accomplishing more things. Not necessarily like maybe changing some things.
Yeah.
Although there are maybe some habits I want to like tweak a little bit.
All right, so my battery died, and we had to change that. Mike, you were saying there's a couple things that you want to tweak.
A couple things I want to tweak. Yeah. A couple things I want to tweak. And I'm just, you know what? Talking about next year, I feel like I was telling Katie this the other day too, and like we're just putting a lot of work in. The past couple months, we just putting a lot of work in to build up, like finalize the foundation to be as prepared as possible to just like kill it in 2022.
Right.
So it's like, sure, it's the holidays, but it's like, man, we've been grinding it out, working longer days, you know what I mean, putting in more hours and stuff like that. So that way we're more settled and like just prepared to like breeze through 2022 accomplishing goals,
Right.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to like working hard and enjoying life next year though, having balance.
Yeah, so on the whole enjoying life, so we were filming yesterday, and the one thing that Mike was like, oh, I wanted to say this, and then we did film a little clip of it, but yeah, so talk about balance, and then, I had that video about mental health and your hobbies, about how important it is to have these other things, like for me, it's kendama, disc golf, for the most part, that are these physical activities, these games, these things that are, to me, therapy, and they're the perfect balance to music and all this other stuff. It takes my mind off it. It's something active. It's, but yeah, even, go and watch a movie, or we're under a walkway, pretty sure, in the Arts Factory. But yeah, so talk to us about that too, about balance and doing other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, just have balance, man. I mean, it's like, if you want to go watch a movie, go watch the movie. You want to play the Xbox, jump on the Xbox, or play disc golf, or whatever you want to do, but have some balance. But also, just make time for it, man, because I feel like myself, I've done that a lot. I'm sure other people do. Like, you feel like you got to be working all the time. And I enjoy always having something going on, but it's like, especially having a family, it's like, yeah, take the time to chill. Take the time to like be in bed watching a movie.
It's just as important sometimes, man.
Yeah, because because then if not, you burn yourself out.
Right.
And so it's like tonight, me and Katie are having like a date night, chilling. And I got a nice staycation hotel, you know, and gonna have some good dinner and zone out, leave the outside world alone, because that's important, especially if you're in a relationship.
Yeah.
To try to have time for each other, and obviously if you have kids, but it's like, just find balance, man. Grind it out, handle your business, and then have some fun too. So next year I'm feeling like I'm looking forward to chilling, right, enjoying the good life, but also working hard and accomplishing some new goals. So have balance.
Yeah, I think for me, I think there's so many resolutions or something. It's like, you don't have to wait till New Year's. It's like, dude, like...
that's why we're grinding now.
Exactly. You know, I've had a lot of things, whether it's eating healthy, working out more, stopping vaping, which I just posted that video. It's a little funny. But yeah, it's like, you know, that was one, that was another one. But I think if I have a resolution, I mean, yeah, just in my mind, I was like, bro, I want to have 100,000 YouTube subscribers. And then take my music obviously as far as I can, maybe get like touring and stuff like that, playing bigger shows. But I think I'm just excited to continue this flow and this momentum that I'm in. I feel like I've had this idea of what I think this is actually great. This is my resolution. I've had this idea of what the best version of Zack looks like in my head, whether that's physically, mentally, what I'm doing for the community, what I'm doing for myself, all that kind of stuff, like the man that I want to become. And there was this Matthew McConaughey speech that he gave one time, and he was like, who's your hero? He was talking about, he's like, myself in 10 years. And he's like, you're never going to get to him. He's always in front of you. You know what I mean? He's always 10 years ahead of you. But that guy, this guy
that you're becoming.
I guess my goal is to get closer and closer to that guy. That whatever that best version of myself is, or who I'm becoming, I think is my goal to just to get closer to that guy, and to give more and help more and share more and fulfill my whatever purpose that is, you know.
There was something that we wanted to say, so it was balance. Oh, two things. Leave your mark.
Yes.
We got to get on that real quick.
And then Vegas.
Okay, leave your mark. But I just want to say, I don't know why this just came to mind, because I was talking about grinding and stuff like that, but I had this realization last year. Last year, I had the most money I've ever had in my life at one time.
Yeah.
The most ever. And I was like, thinking like, oh, that's cool, man. But then what I realized is it didn't really change much.
Right.
You know, like I was like, you know, people have millions and millions and millions, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I could see how they could be like, yeah, whatever, didn't really do nothing, you know?
Yeah.
You still have the same problems, the same things still going on. But I think for once in my life, having all this money made me think like, yeah, this didn't really do much. You know, it didn't really change a lot, because we get so wrapped up in like, man, if I could just have $100,000, $1 million, $500,000, whatever it is, so much more than you have now. Like I felt like I had that last year.
Yeah.
And I mean, I did some great things with it.
Yeah.
For sure. But
yeah.
I do remember thinking in the moment, that's like, there's got to be more than money. You know what I mean?
Dude, I was watching, I've been watching a lot of Christian content lately, and I was watching about the guitar player from Korn. Mm-hmm. You know who Korn is?
Yeah.
Like, he basically found God, is born again Christian at some point, and he does this whole story where this guy's interviewing him, and, you know, he's like, I had so much money, so much success, so much stuff in the bank, but he was like addicted to meth, and he was like depressed, like thinking about killing himself. Yeah, and it's like the money or the fame, it just like didn't matter. And until he like found God, it his life was, dude.
You have to do what makes you happy. That's what I think I was trying to say. It's just like, and that's a lot for me to say, because I was always grinding. I mean, I'm grinding, I'm hustling and stuff like that. But it's like I realized, money's really not everything. Obviously, gonna make it, and it could change your life and stuff like that. But I think once you disconnect from this, like the need, and if you had all this money or whatever, you realize it doesn't really matter much. And so just be happy, whether that's you working your job, you going home and you watch a movie with the kids, or you working home, you go home and you play your Xbox, and you have a pizza, like that's what you enjoy. Do what makes you happy. This is your life. That's all you got. Just be happy in this time that you have on earth,
I honestly think that the biggest thing that will bring more into your life is to be grateful for what you have right now. And sometimes I have to boil it back to, you talk about living in your car. I sometimes have to boil it back to, like, dude, if you have a shower, if you have a toilet, if you have like running water, imagine like so many people around the world like don't even have those things, and how spoiled and how like what we have in America.
It could always be worse.
It could always be worse, and that's something to really, really, really remember sometimes. And even if you're just super depressed, just boil it back to these super basic things that you take for granted
Basic
every single day.
yeah.
And I was thinking about that a lot, man, because like I don't have a lot of money in the bank. I got some investments, and I mean I'm excited for the future. But I was like, how much happier would I be if that truck outside was like a Bentley or at some level? And I know people who've had a lot of money. I mean, dude, I've had friends who like, dude, they have super nice cars, and I've been in conversations with these dudes sometimes, and they're complaining about their Cartier bracelet being scratched, and
It's always something,
I'm
man.
just
That's
like,
the thing.
dude, this is whatever you're dealing with, bro. I'm not like
You
I
can
do not
be a
envy that.
multimillionaire upset that you're not a billionaire. You know what
Dude.
I'm saying? It's like there's always something.
Yeah.
It's always like your neighbor's house is bigger than yours.
I mean, dude,
Or
if
whatever
you
it
go
is.
on like a biblical thing, it's like, dude, the root, it's not that money is not important, but the love of money is the root of so much evil in this world. And I think it's the root of unhappiness too. It's like, if you just love money, and that's like all you're focused on, it's never going to bring you fulfillment. And, we see all these stories about celebrities or people who are rich. It's like, they're interviewed or they killed themselves. It's like, dude,
Right.
what they thought the fame and success
Would bring.
and money would bring, it just wasn't there. And if they
Right.
didn't have God or something else in their life that was really fulfilling them, dude, you see it. So I think that's a really great point is, yeah, we all, build a foundation, get to a point where you can, do stuff and more importantly, give back. But these things about I'm not going to be happy until I have this amount of money, it's like, no, you should be happy every day that you wake up. I think, dude, it's like, thank God every day that you wake up and you're
Right.
breathing. Because a lot of people today,
Man, it
right
could be
now,
worse.
are gone. Mm-hmm. Today is going to be a lot of people's last day on earth. And
Leave your mark.
Leave
On
your
that
mark.
note, leave your mark.
Yes.
That's why it's like you don't have to do just one thing, You don't have to be just like a software engineer or whatever it is. It's like maybe you take that and you apply it to something else and you're doing something that's benefiting people's lives in different ways. I just feel like I also realized like, yeah, I don't have to be doing just one thing. So it didn't have to be just the music. Not the
Exact,
music,
dude.
it's the photography, it's the event space, and I'm impacting lives in different ways, whether it's with the quote book or giving people a space to create art
Yeah,
in this space,
yeah.
or having a space that people can go and celebrate with the people that they love,
Yeah.
and be able to have that opportunity because it's not crazy expensive, and now they could bring you're bringing families together, you're bringing people together
Right.
and creating this unity.
right.
So it's like, I mean, I talked to somebody yesterday, the guy when I went across the street when you were
Yeah.
here, and he's like, yeah, man, like I'm trying to do this, and I think this space could really work for it. And it's like, in a sense, like depending on, you're removed from it at some point a little bit, but you're giving people an opportunity to create and bring their vision to life.
Yes.
On some level.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm supplying the space, we're supplying the space, and it's helping you create this vision that down the road can be a kid that comes into your space and is like, man, this is cool, I could do this.
All right.
Impacting lives, man.
Yep.
Leaving a mark.
Yep. We were talking yesterday about, how much energy and focus you have. I think there's definitely something to be said about laser focusing on some things at a certain
Yeah.
time. But, if you're gonna do multiple things, it's just like make sure you can do those things well. So
Yes, yeah, don't do it if you're not
Yeah,
doing
don't
well.
do it-
Or if you're not going to put in the effort to learn to become better,
Right.
to do it well.
Yeah. But I do think there's some, there's a story about some guy who he did all these things. He was a pilot. He did all this stuff, and he did do them one at a time. And like I said, I think there's something to learn from both. It's like, the faster, if you put more of your focus into one thing, it's, instead of 30% and three things, if you put 100% into one thing, obviously it's going to grow faster. And I think that's just something to realize is. Yeah, I mean, that's also like sometimes for me, it was like there was no plan B for music. It was like, I was going to be like a server, or my mom said I'd be like a great used car salesman forever. But yeah, I was like, dude, I like went dead on music. But now it's like, yes, and now that I finally have the music kind of going, and that was my focus forever, now I can add this YouTube thing too, So that was my thing. So, and I feel like I still have time to do them both well, and kind of they both are into each other, So, but yeah, so.
Vegas.
Yeah, let's wrap up with kind of what you see
Vegas,
for Vegas, why we do love here. Because someone was telling me like, the YouTube channel is great, but capitalize on that. You're in Vegas. It's like that's something people search for, and something that I feel like should be in this because we love being here and we want to grow this city. we are obviously creatives from Vegas.
Right.
And yeah.
Well, we're building, Katie and I, when I say we, and you as well, are like building our foundation here, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's like, I wouldn't do that if I didn't think it was going to continue to blossom and just be like a great place to be. And we talked about how we're spoiled in ways because it's like, man, there's so many like 5-star restaurants here, like just great chefs, famous chefs that are putting out like some of the best food across the nation, you know? And it's like, we're here. Like, if we want entertainment, like we can remove ourselves from that, or we can just dive in whenever we want to. We have that luxury to be like, we're gonna go to this amazing restaurant or stay at this 5-star resort just because we want to on Tuesday night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you can't do that at a lot of places.
Yeah,
we have everything here.
If you want to eat late, it's like, dude, I remember
24/7, whatever you want. It's just like, now the sports teams are coming in.
Yep.
So I just feel like 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, whatever it is, it's like it's going to continue to get better.
Dude, it's just awesome. I never thought I would be in Vegas, and I always wanted to go to LA, you know, and I'm so glad I never went to LA. And LA's cool for what it's worth sometimes, and it's close. But I just remember I was there on this, just this little trip, and we're trying to find somewhere to eat, and we went to this one place, and it was like, you can't sit down unless you have $100. So I was like, all right, we'll order at this, we'll order to go, and then we tried to go to this bar, and there was a bunch of people in there, and it was just like 2 dudes who were just too cool for everybody, and I was like, I'm not feeling this. Right. And I was just like, man, if we were in Vegas, there would have been like 20 options for us to just go hang out anywhere. Right. And that is just a luxury that you really don't get anywhere else.
Better quality of life for me. That's what it was.
And cost of living, man.
That's what I'm saying. It's like you can keep more money in your pocket and live great. You know? That's the other thing too. It's like, man, you don't have to be like super balling out of control, man. No. Like you could just live a comfortable life to do what you want. I think when you can get to that point where it's like you're not necessarily worried about maybe going out to dinner, or you're like, you know, whatever it is, going to see a show, whatever you want to do. Yeah. When you get to that point, it's like cool. Like that's all you need. Or maybe some people don't even care for that, but it's just like that's good, man. To be able to get to that point, you can get to that point here a lot sooner than you can in LA, for example, or New York or whatever.
Yeah, I just have friends that live there, man, and it's just like, you know, they make it work, but I just know how much work some people have to do just to pay their rent.
Well, that's what I'm saying. A lot of times it's a constant grind, and a lot of times it's like, I was telling you yesterday, it's like a lot of people that I know everybody's trying to make it, and then you have the people that are like barely making it. So it's like, maybe all your bills combined are like $3,000 a month, and you're making $3,500. Yeah. You know? So it's like, like a lot of people I know have roommates. Like everybody has roommates. I didn't know a lot of people that had their own place. Right. It's like everybody's living with their parents, or everybody's living with 2 or 3 roommates. Right. Because that's how it is. Yeah. You know? So. Yeah,
I think, you know, I understand if you want to be an actor, right? Maybe LA or New York, but I just think in today's world, like don't unless you know, I felt like I needed to move, whether it was LA or Vegas, out of my hometown, because that was all right, LOL, battered dead again. But yeah, so the reason I moved, I wanted to move, whether it was LA or Vegas, was because I personally felt like I needed to get out of my hometown. And I feel like if anyone feels like that, if they feel like they need to move, it's probably good to do it because you're never going to know. And moving to Vegas was probably the best decision I ever made. Not to say that there's not a lot of people who just love their hometown and stay, but that's how I just personally felt, so I'm glad that I moved. But what I wanted to tell everybody is, even if you want to be an actor, you don't have to move anywhere to do what you want to do. And I think that's important. I mean, you could, if you want to be an actor, you could just make your own little skits. Like if you have an iPhone, you could make your own YouTube channel, you could do TikTok, Instagram, and obviously music, there's, you know, kids sitting in a laptop in Iceland or Finland making house songs, like killing it. You know what I mean?
If I was just whatever, if I was trying to be an actor, it's like I would get some great headshots, record some great quality video, send that to an agent, like as many agents you can get that are in LA or wherever where there's auditions going on, and be like, look, man, I'm dead serious. If you can get me an audition, I'll fly out there and fly back, like no problem. Don't even worry about it. Right. But having the communication is super important. Because you could just communicate with somebody well enough for them to be like, all right, man, you seem legit. Yeah. So I'm gonna pitch you to this person. Right. And you fly out here. Right. And you do the interview, you do the audition, go back home. Right. It's all good. Yeah. But there's nothing that's impossible like that, you know? So it's just about communicating. Right. And yeah, you don't got to be in any particular place to like make things happen. Obviously it's helpful, But if you're really driven for it,
Yeah.
for sure.
But if you're looking for somewhere to move, come out to Vegas.
Yeah, come to Vegas.
Come to Vegas. We'll welcome you with open arms. Okay, so thank you so much, Mike, first off.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so let the people know what you got going on, or where they can find you, where they can find the space, your music, all that stuff. Give them all the socials, website, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so my website is MikeXavier.net. Our photography company is renownedphotos.com, RENOWNED photos.com. And then our little micro event space is Suite 150. The website is STE150.com. And follow me on Instagram at MikeXavier __. And check out the music on Spotify at Mike Xavier.
Love it.
Cool.
Well, thanks again, Mike. Yeah, so if you guys out there, if you like this kind of stuff, please leave a like, please leave a comment. If you have any questions for me or Mike, definitely reach out to us on any of our socials. If you are an artist, creator, entrepreneur, or you know anyone that you think would be great on this show, if you want to talk to me, if you know someone that wants to come talk to me, please reach out to me or drop their name in the comments.
In the comments. And this is going to come out before then. So if anybody's like filling into like hip hop and poetry, come out to the next show. If you're in Vegas or San Diego, you can buy tickets at hiphopandpoetry.com.
Right.
The next show is Saturday, January 8th at Brooklyn Bowl in Las Vegas. And then the show after that in San Diego is Saturday, January 15th at Soda Bar. So if you happen to be in Vegas or San Diego during those times and you're into poetry, like spoken word and hip hop, come to the show. It's a really great vibe.
Yeah, I've been to a lot of these events. They are honestly amazing. But yeah, thank you again.
Thank you,
Mike.
friend.
Seriously, man. Again, as always, much love. God bless. God bless this person up here walking around too. And we'll see you soon.
Peace.
Okay, Mike, I'm going to have him do his first spike ever, but he just pulls out, dude, ball and cup.
It's the originator right here.
Dude.
Woo!
Woo!
Yeah, buddy. All right, let me see.
Are
There
you
go.
kidding me? Okay, so I showed you the thing, right? Yeah. All right, so here, so see that? So your right thumb is going to go under the big cup. Okay, then you're kind of going to do.
So I'm gonna pull it up.
So basically, you're going to hang it like this. Okay, so it's a little more. So it's super straight, and you're going to pull it straight up. You're going to focus your eye right here, and you're going to get on the spike. All right, this is Mike's first spike challenge with Mike Xavier. Hold up.
Ready?
Yep.
Just pulling it straight up. And...
Straight up onto the spike.
Ooh! Yeah.
Dude! First try!
All right, my man.
Yo,
pretty good.
I'm proud of you. Dude, I've literally talked to some people, they say sometimes it takes someone literally 25 minutes to get that.
Really?
Mike Xavier got his first spike on his first try. I'm bringing you a kendama next time
Nice.
we
Very nice.
we hang out.
I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna go out with the win right there.
Dude,
But I did it.
that is so great, dude. Oh, literally dropped the ball. Rolling with this? I don't think you can do it. All right, that's amazing.